So we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about exactly for what we do for the top end, and it's not a lot, but there are a few things. Head surface, also skimmed, new exhaust manifold studs, 1.5 millimeter thick Apexi head gasket, and stock valves, but Supertech titanium retainers and upgraded springs. I believe those are also, there's only one Supertech spring that you can get, one upgrade option before you go to dual spring, and I think the upgraded spring is like 68 pounds, if I think so. S3 JWT Cams, ARP head studs. I mean, it's ARP 2000 material, but it's Mazworx's Headstud Kit. They modified it, or Mazworx Headstud Kit. I don't know if ARP changed it, but when you buy from Mazworx, there used to be a problem with ARP where the head studs would not bottom out properly in the block, and so Mazworx's kit changed that, and so they actually all bottom out, and so you get full threads in the block, proper, just proper hold down strength for the head studs. So Mazworx Headstud Kit, dual guide mod on the rockers. That's everything for the top end. Everything else is stock. That's it. Let's keep going. Okay, now we're at the point of doing the rocker guide shimming, grinding, to make sure that they are flat. And I've already done 4 right now, 4 rockers. To get the hang of it, I'm gonna go through one of them now and kind of show you how I go about doing this. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just, you really got to take your time, because it's so precise. It's literally plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch between both shims. Before we start, I'll kind of show you what I got here. This is my tool here. It's just a dial gauge, and it comes with different attachments, and this one just has a rod attachment. And I made this, there's a lot of websites out there that you can like download 3D printed files, and you can 3D print your own shim tool, but essentially I made this one with my lathe out of aluminum, and it works very well. Helps me get tolerances this is like the most important part of shimming. If there's any of the slack that go, like, of the tool, if there's any slack in it, I'll kind of give you an example here. If this part has any slack going into here, like the more slack you have, it, like when I push this down, I have it in, there is very, very, very minimal movement, almost nothing at all. I mean, I could feel it in my hands, but you really probably can't see it in the video. But the tighter the tool is in the lifter, the insanely more accurate it is, because then you're not fighting the bounce of the needle moving inside the lifter hole. So, all right, we're starting with 2 shims here. You making sure that you're doing exactly the same thing on both sides. So what I'm doing is I start the tip right in the center of the shim, and there's pretty much really no movement at all. So I'm just pushing straight down on this one, and I'll lift up and I'll find, so right there, I'll kind of go back and forth, wiggle a little bit, back and forth, and it looks like it's staying. Right at 70. Keep trying, you keep checking, making sure nothing's changed. Check the shim, check where it's touching on the, where the tip is touching on the shim. Still looks good. Kind of push down on it, make sure the shim is fully seated in the retainer, and keep checking it. And it's staying right at 70. Find it right in the center. Right there. Push down on a little bit, seat the shim, and kind of push down center. And that is extremely fucking lucky. That's insane for this. That does not happen at all. Wow, okay. I mean, it looks like it's almost right there. That's very uncommon. Like, it's usually a couple of thousandths easy minimum. That's almost. So the high spot is, it appears to be the other shim. This one's at about 69, and the other one's at 70. And so, I mean, technically, this is okay. Like, it's plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch. You keep messing with it. You see how there's a little bit of wiggle, and look how much it moves. I'm going to say we're about 69 on this one. So what I'm going to do is, technically that's okay. Really, that's in factory spec. It's plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch. But I've been on every single one of these. I get as damn close as I possibly can, because it's really what sets this guide conversion damn near bulletproof. Start out with a 120 grit. I mean, it doesn't have to be a disc, but that's what I just have. Hold this down, and I put it on something that's machined flat surface, the most flattest surface you can find. Pushing it flat up against the hard, so you're not just making sure it's cutting into it even. Like, it doesn't take much to take off 1/1000th, so I just do that, and then I finish it off with 1,000 grit, and actually 1,000 and then 2,000 grit, and it almost damn near puts it at a polished finish. All right, I've got the shim back in on the left side, and we're gonna push straight down, kind of wiggle it, get that fully seated, make sure you get that. Just keep on going. We're at about just a half, almost. I mean, it's going in between about 69 and then like 68.5. So that's totally what we're looking for. So yeah, it's a very tedious process, but you get that right, and you got yourself a very solid top end for an SR. So. All right, engine is fully built and ready to go. And it's a late night. I'm tired, and you know, it's also cold as fuck. So I'm just currently doing some finishing touches actually before there's some things that I wanted to do to the engine bay before this absolute fucking beast of a build goes in. Pretty stoked to hear what it sounds like, and hopefully those S3 cams will give this motor a beautiful little lope.